care what Cloud thinks. Hi, everyone.
Wait,
Did we
we
start?
already start?
Yes, we're starting.
Okay.
Oh,
Hello, welcome to the Eboa Chronicles. Uh, last time in the campaign, there was excitement and treachery.
totally surprising.
Of course.
uh,
Exactly.
someone Tutski thought was a childhood friend turned out to not be so friendly. There was a banquet with poisoned food, and then a desperate escape, and then after finding evidence for conspiring with foreign powers, the Freeland government has decided to lend aid to their cause to punish the order for meddling in their affairs. So the different houses of Freeland are going to begin assembling troops to contribute to the war aim. At this point, the party is going to proceed to the coast to get on a boat and start heading to their next destination.
Very special Friedland warboat, apparently. If Court has anything to say about it.
But I don't. Little bit of a retcon, I'm going to say, from last session. Despite being having injuries over her own, Tutski kind of forego about getting any medical treatment straight away just to help Leliana with the council. Even though she hates politics, she knows this is far too important to ignore. Anyway, into the actual session.
Anyway, all right. So, with Liliana, Roderick, or Rajnik, Gerald, and the party. So, speaking as Liliana, all right. So, it's gonna take time for the houses to assemble their troops. It sounds like the Aquarnia is sending ships to help, transport the people. I believe they've already sent one of their most, with a bit of frustration, but dealing with it voice. One of their more famous captains has already arrived to help take you guys on ahead to start negotiating with the elves and Magno to negotiate for you basing troops there for the assault on the island, and getting people quartered and fed on the way to the island and to Flussburg.
Yeah. I do not relish having to try and keep order among those troops, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, you,
What I was going to say is the Mirage Lieutenant says, my thanks in advance. We will make sure to make good use of all of this.
yeah. Gerald will go with you on the way to Sutton. I want to say is their city. Yeah, on the way to Sutton,
Yeah.
where ships are waiting. Your dwarf friend's also there.
Oh, you managed to get in contact with those allies that I made a decade ago. That's good.
Well, no, that's one of the major ports, so that's where ships are gonna be.
Oh yeah.
It's like there are two ports for, and one of them's on a different river and much farther away. They're going to Sutton.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh no.
Anything you want to do in the capital before leaving?
Well,
No, Mirage has nothing to do, really.
the one thing Tutski wants to do is to try and spend one more day with her family, but then eventually she has to go, pretty much.
I mean, like I said, Gerald will be heading that way because that's kind of close to where his.
Exactly. So Tutski
area
can.
is, so he'll be going with you, but the
That's
others.
that's why Tutski will probably
Yeah.
ride in front with Gerald to try and give him some pointers
Mm.
for when she was the governess there, pretty much. Try and give him some aid.
All right.
So Tutski's glad at that.
So you guys are in this area
After
and now heading to the coast.
after much
Yeah.
hugging.
After much
Anything?
talking and talking through
Actually,
the
I can
way, yeah.
probably erase some of the older arrows due to them being out of date.
Yeah.
Oh
Good
no,
Do
job.
we
he's
run into
destroying.
Braun on the way?
On the
Not
way,
really.
no, he'll be at the
He'll meet us at the port, pretty much.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, I'll leave that there for now.
Mhm.
Anything you want to roleplay for the trip there?
Oh, I'll say on the way out, Tutski has a little jokey jab at Leonard and go, "Don't go jumping to conclusions about my disappearances again."
I mean, it wasn't jumping to conclusions when you completely disappeared from the face of the earth, as far as we could tell, for months on end.
Awkward silence.
I'll just. She sighs. Look, eventually looks at Delith. I know you'll be sending to your family, but would you mind doing so for mine as well, just to keep them at ease?
Okay, I can do it. I can do that.
All right, I probably
Keep
should have
them
made
at
it.
this or keep you at this? I guess both.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the perfect answer.
All right, so you make it to Sutton, and
Mhm.
sure enough, there lots of stuff is happening. You can see a sizable fleet of Aquarian ships.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, filling the docks of the area. People seem a little off
On
put
the
by
yeah.
having a normally like unfriendly rival, basically enemy
Mhm.
ships all being there. I mean, usually like under most circumstances these would just be trade ships, but due to
Yeah.
the mobilizing for
Details
fight,
of it.
you know,
Mhm.
the imperial they've been basically
They
basically
send.
they've been drafted into the war effort and are flying imperial colors.
Mhm.
Uh, in the port, you see a dwarf that you definitely recognize,
Yeah.
Braun, and he pulls you towards one ship in particular
Mhm.
where a lot is going on.
Yeah, I imagine.
Why this
Yeah.
particular ship, Braun?
All right,
Because it
so
has a monkey, that's why.
I was I was
here,
going.
all right,
Mhm.
so here, General Marion,
Mhm.
who you or General Marion, sorry, I am tempted incorrectly to add
Hey, look, it's
Blair
the
to that.
professor and Marianne.
General Marion is on the ship. You recognize him from your meeting in the Empire.
Yeah.
He and the captain of the ship are talking. He sees
Medicine.
you guys arrive and say, "Ah, finally, the heroes arrive. I
Mhm.
trust you were able to get here smoothly. Nothing too exciting with the Freelanders."
Medicine immediately jumps immediately before any kind of problem. Jumps and says, "No, no, no problem at all."
Everything went smoothly.
Tutski's
All
biting
right,
her lip.
good to know. Yeah, didn't get the warmest of welcomes when we started showing up, but over the past day, things have warmed up decently enough, and we're not getting rotten produce thrown at us nearly as much.
Who negotiated that, I wonder?
From what I can tell, it has to do with news of the Order's attempted kidnapping and ruining of one of the noble houses, which I assume has something to do with you lot.
Tutski's bites her lip.
Medrash
Well,
says,
we may have
sad-
dealt with something similar.
Medrash just says, sadly, you're not totally wrong. Yes, we were involved, but it was a matter that was swiftly dealt with.
You'll have to wait
Nothing
until
to
the
worry about.
final edition of the song to get the details.
uh,
Yeah, our friend over here is working on an epic ballad to talk all about it.
Which I am sure we will sing at the appropriate time. He says this looking harshly at Delith.
yeah, little D.
Always on the appropriate time.
I was about to say, little D. No, always is the appropriate time.
Tutski's looking more and more. Tutski's looking more and more uncomfortable as the rest of the party are talking.
Yeah, Medrash is trying to end this. That's why he's trying to,
I'm pretty
close the
sure with just a little ale, it will be perfect for the voyage.
Anyway,
We can-
Marion continues. I will not be traveling with you guys. I need to continue to arrange stuff with the local dignitaries. Gerard actually steps forward for that. Yeah,
Medrash immediately
that's
says,
actually one of the things I've come here to do.
I figured. Tutski says the first. She said with a smile.
Oh, so you're the primary coordinator here.
So we'll be staying behind to coordinate getting the Freeland troops onto boats as they get mustered. Additionally, just procuring divisions and making sure that we actually have a destination to get to. Moving lots of people from one place to another, even if we're not fighting at the end, is a
we imagine
monstrously difficult task.
It
we,
takes
we,
a lot of
we imagine
it takes a lot of logistics.
It's what Medrash was about to say. Thanks for interrupting me constantly, not letting me say something.
Something
I,
we're
I
seeing
am
in
the
real.
polite. I am the polite one. I am the one that quiets down when Brody sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't. Got
Now,
it.
two questions here. Who's the captain of the ship? And the second, where's the best cabin?
The captain, the guy with the fancy hat, steps forward.
The guy with the
I'm the
fancy.
captain.
Ah, good to meet you, sir.
Medrash
Yeah.
immediately says, eh, any kind of ridiculous request that she asks, I heavily consider that you ignore it. We have no special preference. What we would like just to ask of you, Captain, is that you are swift and quick as possible to reach us to our destination.
Oh,
Thank you
such.
very
Don't-
much
I
for your
never
service.
make illogical requests.
Do you
The
have
only
any spare
request I
training
have-
dummies?
Yeah,
Tutski says.
Mendes just gives you a dry look and says, "You were about to request the best cabin possible, weren't you?"
Of course.
Mendes sighs and looks at the captain and says, "You see."
No worries. I've dealt with adventurers before. I've actually had a long and illustrious career. That's part of why we had a not so welcoming. I've got quite the reputation for raiding ships during wartime.
Little does the rest of the party know, this guy is the one that's been present in every single Eboan campaign.
I mean, I was actually gonna say, Daleth and Tusky would probably be familiar with Captain Crusticius, also known as Captain Krusty.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
There we go. Oh, so you're Captain Krusty then?
Oh,
Yep, one and the same. I've been all the way up as far north as a ship can go when the ice is clear, and I've been around the southern bend as well. I've been to the Adalar Islands and colonies. Actually, at least one of my crew members is from there. I've just about anywhere you can get to by boat. I've been there.
In
Medras,
that case,
I won't do the noise because I can do it
mhm,
for my save my life, but Medras, that's the word in English is escaping me, but you know the impress noise there and says
Quee.
quarter. Yeah, so it's basically quite a resume you have there, Captain. Yeah, exactly. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah,
in
the
that
unending skies and I have been all over the unending seas. It's a little fitting, I think.
It's an ending.
Hmm.
in that case, Captain, I will settle for a normal cabin, but I will request details about your exploits and your
Oh,
travels.
when I've got time, I'll be sure to give you the best tales that I can. Uh, I'm not expecting too difficult of a voyage, but there are some things to consider. Unfortunately, our normal ship's mage is indisposed at the moment due to doing something personal, so I had to pick up a temporary replacement on the trip down from Havenport. Uh, so right now our ship mage is uh Elienvo from the Kingdom of Fate. He's a high elf, so
Oh, he's high.
uh speaking a bit quietly to the group. So he's this is gonna be a bit touchy when we get to the forest elves, that with their unending rivalry and hatred with each other. Like, if you think the Freeland Aquarnian relations are bad, that's not a nothing you wanna.
That's a bit of an
Yeah.
understatement, Tusky adds.
Eh, from my
Medras.
experience, it depends on the person. Tatsuki over here is just fine.
But
Medras
I
just
would
looks at
not,
the
you know.
captain and says,
But the need for a ship
he-
wizard is paramount, and I would not risk doing this journey without one.
we
Understandable.
imagine we're not the when the moment comes,
I,
Captain. If it's
I
necessary, I
approach
will
the
try
captain.
to intervene.
I approach the captain and whisper to him, "If he's too much of a problem, I can replace him. You know."
Oh, you have gust of wind or control weather?
Now that you mention, no, I don't. But
Rein it
You have.
in,
me,
Delith. Rein it in.
Do you know how critical those spells are in a pinch?
well, we could think of something else. Maybe I could. Actually, okay. It would be a nice opportunity for me to actually broaden my magical repertoire.
Don't worry. You know, most of the most of the uh port sounds have wizards who have the spells that ships find important, just because it's a good way for low level wizards to earn some money. Though a wizard that actually can get experienced enough to learn control weather and still is willing to spend ages on a boat are rare and far and few in between, which is why you don't see that level of magery that often. But
Yeah, I
having
imagine.
a fair number of gust of wind uses is of like a just a huge magnitude of importance for any serious sailing ship.
Okay. Just have in mind if you need anything burned or
I'm
have
gonna ask you to
to
be
those encounter
extremely
with the
careful with.
great beyond. I'm
I'm
your
gonna point
person.
out we're on a floating pile of wood. Be very careful with your fire.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't mean this ship. I
Medras
meant
sighs and says again, "We will keep her as far away as possible from anything that's paramount. Worry not, Captain."
Anyway, I'm hoping to get underway pretty quickly because we want to get going as fast as we can.
Of course,
It's a
Medras
long
says,
trip, and I'm hoping to be able to make it without needing to stop by the migrating isles, because that brings unnecessary danger, and I'd like to avoid that if possible.
I
We should
agree.
be able to
Medash,
make it,
Medash
assuming
immediately
all goes
says,
Oh
smoothly.
my gosh.
What?
That's
Medash
cool.
immediately
We're
says,
totally going to be stopping by the Green Isle.
Yeah, you don't have to say it. We all imagine where this is going. In character
We
back
don't want
again.
to stop by the plot point. That would be
Medash immediately
dangerous.
says, Of course, we'll be out of your way immediately so you can begin preparations."
You
Yeah,
have
I was just gonna tell the general and our fair Freeland friend here, that they'll need to be saying any final goodbyes before we head off. Any last words for our illustrious adventurers? Marion just turns to the party. You know, because of what you've managed to do, we're gonna rely on you to do most of the negotiating with Magno once you get there. We've already had our ambassador just start, getting like the preliminary negotiations for where the talkings will happen. The plan is basically you guys will get to the Magno Peninsula, go upriver to the capital, and then hash out an agreement. I don't foresee the actual negotiations being that hard. The order threatens Magno territory as well, potentially, so
what territory don't the Order threaten these days? Tutsi says under
not
her breath.
many places, which is why you're seeing such an odd alliance of Freeland and Aquarnia.
I'll say. But
I think odd is the right word.
I
Odd
have
situation, odd and complicated situations can also bring good things. Hopefully, this could be a step forward to more or less strenuous relationships between everyone.
hopefully, unfortunately, I don't have much hope for that. I've lived a long life and I've seen people fight for various reasons all over it. I'll do my best, but and
you'll
I'll hope for peace.
you'll have my aid in that as
But
well. I don't know how much I can do though.
anyway, any last goodbyes before the people staying get off the boat and you set sail?
Well, you get the obvious one of Tusky and Gerald having a hug, but unless anyone else wants anything.
Nothing really other than thanks for the help, Marion. Hope to see you in Latour.
Yes, I hope to see you there as well. Gerard says, "Yeah, I'll probably see you guys there as well. I'll be coming, either Rajnik or I, or both potentially, will be coming with the Dentar contribution to the Freeland forces, so
Medash just
might
as
see you
the
again
path
in the future."
to retire. That's a kind of military salute there.
Yep.
Just respect and all that.
Tutski will give Gerald a hug and say, just stay safe until we see each other again, and then gives a handshake to the general.
All right. Get off the boat,
Mhm.
and the crew members start getting to work on the captain barks at crew. All right, we're setting sail.
Mhm.
All's
For
ashore
now,
that's going ashore. I don't know boat stuff. I can figure out some stuff that'd be clever, but whatever. Anyway,
no
the
problem.
the crew jumps into action,
The captain
Exactly.
says that
and
out loud. I don't know boat
Medrash
stuff!
immediately begins to stack alongside Lilith, making sure she doesn't get in the way or does anything that could compromise the ship.
Tutski will
you
have a
can see
quick.
Braun is,
Mhm.
you know, enjoyably watching the
Mhm.
crew get about its work, and where he
Mhm.
can, offering to help a little bit. While
Mhm.
that's going on, the captain says, yells to one of the people, "Miss
Uh,
Fisher, take over while I, bring the adventurers up to speed for our plans."
Mhm.
You can see one of the crew members, you know, give an affirmative, "Aye, aye, Captain." Well, the captain leads you guys into his quarters. Yep, that's Miss Farina Fisher, my first mate. Uh, she hails from the Eastern Reaches. You'll find that this boat's got crew members from a variety of places. It's just how, ocean faring is. Even though Aquarian, the Eastern Reaches have its own negative history, I trust Miss Fisher with my life. Anyway, so you guys get to your quarters, or get to his quarters, and he sets you out at a map.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like I said, I sailed south from Havenport.
About to say, go
And
ahead and bring up the map
yeah,
here.
I actually just shared a
Yeah, a continental map.
wonderful paint drawing, high detail map that kind of
We
shows
set
some of the
sail
important
for
bits.
the phallic
Eh,
sea.
It,
Again, this is better than what I could do. So worry not.
This is still
This is
better than
good.
the Rise of Skywalker. That's fine.
yeah. So basically, our trip so far has been sailing clockwise through the inland sea, where we passed by Fete, which is where we picked up, Alienvo, our temporary ship mage, before we followed the southward current along the coast to get down here.
Mm-hmm.
All well and good. We're gonna pass on the northern going currents
Mm-hmm.
on our way to Fete. Uh, so long as we have enough supplies, we should be able to do this entire journey without needing to resupply. But if we do need to, we can sidetrack to the uh, Wandering Isles. For those of you who aren't familiar, and I don't expect any of you to do, there's just a patch of sea where little spots of land can go in and out of the ocean somewhat randomly. It's a mix of various tidal and other issues that bring the stuff in and out of the ocean. But it is someplace we can resupply for food and water if necessary. The difficulty is the path back to the main current takes us through waters that can host krakens as they feed on the stuff that live in the isles. So I'd prefer to avoid that. The other thing to be aware of is the calm. Uh, there's a slight current off ramp from the main northward current that takes like so one important thing to know is that basically this entire patch of sea has a prevailing eastward wind except for the calm where for what is presumed to be magical ancient reasons there is no wind like whatsoever. It's just calm, which for a sailing ship is not good, needless to say. And the current, if you get on it, that takes you into the calm, takes you smack dab into the middle of it, where pretty much unaided, no ship can really escape before people die of starvation and thirst.
Hence why you have the mage.
Hence
Im-
mages, yes.
and immediately, well, this is all being talked about. Midrash looks at the to see his reaction to everything regarding the calm.
Uh, Nothing in particular. She just listens.
Okay.
You haven't seen any worrisome
Signs.
hints for
The,
now.
the, the, the thing is that I say this in character and outside of character. The calm sounds massively like something magically that maybe that it will be ooh.
I mean, it is probably magical, but
Yeah.
so the issue there is that the eastward winds can push uncareful ships onto the uh, current that would move the ship into the calm, and then it's difficult to get off of that current once you're in the calm, as you've got no wind to sail with.
Mm-hmm.
So if for some reason we were to get stuck on that current, being able to use the gust of wind spell can get us off of that current before we get too far into the calm to the point where we're doomed. Once you're deep in the calm, unless you've got a high level wizard who can do control weather, even with a lot of gusts of wind, you're probably not going to be able to get far enough out of the calm to get going again.
And after all this is a mirror, has any creature that we should be aware of besides?
As long as we keep to the main, central northern current, no, there isn't much to worry about. That's why I tried to make sure we had enough supplies to make it all the way to Magno. That way we don't have to go to the Wandering Isles.
You mentioned krakens. How big are they most of the time?
They're big enough where I don't want to have my ship anywhere near them. The Neverending Skies and I have been through a lot, and I'd rather not see the end of her.
No small ones then?
We,
There are small ones, but still best not to risk it unless absolutely necessary.
A
And it's not like
bummer.
the water, it's
Yeah.
not like they're there all the times. Most ships can pass through there without too much of an issue. But on a
Imagine
mission as critical as this, I'm gonna keep it safe.
imagine if we found the small one.
Delith says in the Mirage. I get it. You're interested, but
I mean, a
I think
small one's still
you
probably
should
big enough to eat you whole, so.
No,
probably look for after we are done with all of this to hire a ship that is willing to help you catch a kraken.
if it is small
This is neither
enough.
the time, neither this is the time nor the moment.
Okay, okay. Actually, I have one more question.
Yes.
If the ship sinks, what's the plan?
Pray that another ship's close enough that we're not all dead. This is the
Ah,
seas. It's not a particularly forgiving place.
very
bit rare.
reassuring.
Medras Chestnut's like that. Like he has been the first time that he was on the ship was when he was moving from the main continent to the main continent from
Drakkenberg.
the island where the order usually is. So he does know, that usually if there is no any if there's not another ship, this is probably the end of the journey. So he's kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
And
This
so
is a fairly well-traveled uh, area. Freeland and Magno have a lot of uh, political and economic relations, so there's a chance for rescue. But like I said, better to not get yourself stuck in a situation like that to begin with.
yeah, I mean that's just not that. Again, he was expecting that kind of answer and all of that.
Yep.
Agreed. So let's not sink the ship.
Yes, now you understand why I was asking you to be careful with the fire earlier.
Let's not sink the ship. Everyone stares at Tutski, who's kind of shaking and stressed.
I think Tutski's on the lower end for able to sink the ship.
Yeah,
I
again,
know, I know.
the carrying of sinking the ship is someone that Mirage is going to be spending a lot of time with on the ship.
Oh
I mean, I
Just
think
a
the
my!
caution.
Oh
I
my!
think the two people most capable of sinking the ship are probably Braun and Delith.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, Patron has proven himself to
Oh
be
no, like I don't think
reliable and
I
trustworthy.
wasn't saying will sink the ship, just
Yeah.
capable of.
Well, no,
Capable
yeah, we
of,
know,
yes.
Now I
we know
have
you've
to
been capable, but
now I have to approach Braun and tell him, with our combined strength, this ship is nothing.
oh no, oh no.
Anyway, so as far as the rest of the crew, I've already told you about Miss Fisher and our temporary wizard Alienvo. Uh, we've got plenty more crew. The main people who will be helping to take care of you will be this our sailor Miss Marie Carpenter,
Mhm.
hailing from the Adalar Islands, specifically from the port Halfling's Landing. she'll be making sure you get your meals and don't get in the way of our ship functions when necessary. Right now, I believe she's acting as lookout.
By the way, can I assist on lookout?
Yeah, you can crawl your way up there.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to make this clear. If it wasn't for because Medrash is going to be there with Delith, making sure that doesn't accidentally or willingly does something that could damage the ship, he will be willing, putting himself there to help with the ship. I just want to make this clear, out of character.
I've already planned
I'm
for
not.
Tusky to be as out of the way as possible, given her mental situation.
I'm not mad.
And then additionally, we'll have the good deckhand Erwin Volk, hailing from the Draken Isles. Actually, we picked him up in Barry, I believe, but he's been with us for a number of months at this point. So he'll be, making sure that where you're staying is cleaned up and taken care of. And I'm not gonna have NPCs for like all 20 of the crew because that would
Oh
be.
yeah,
This is
I
Bob,
imagine
Bob,
these are important.
It's
Bobita,
already
Bobbert,
the map's
Bobworth.
already full enough as is.
This is Bobblesmith.
Also,
Would your galley master welcome some help?
I'm sure he would if you've got time and experience. Though you'll find that what we've got to serve is quite limited. It's gonna be oats, salt, salted meat,
Salted pork.
preserved, a handful of preserved fruits, and some basic alcohol and plenty of fresh water.
Yes, the Meadows chestnuts so that like you can.
This isn't a cruise ship, so expect to be a little uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be too bad.
I'll
It's
need some
not too
time to
bad.
cool off something personal, but as soon as I'm ready, I'm more willing to help out the ship's quartermaster should they need it.
All right, so now you've got a bunch of NPCs. Any of them you want to interact with, or
Tutski will just say
Yes.
Tutski will just ask the captain if there's any spare training dummies on board.
no, not on a sailing ship.
Just if Medrash at any point meets, Erwin Volk, he would just ask him, how does he feel, with the situation there in Draken and all of that. Saying as he also, comes from there, Medrash, he wants a different opinion regarding all of this. So he would just ask that. Nothing more load or anything like that.
So do you want to roleplay that, or
No, it's not. It's not necessary. Just you can make a quick response and all of that. It's just not
he
really
kind of
conversation.
gives a calm, quiet, non-committal stuff's happening. You not in much of a way you can get a good read on his take on things.
Okay.
Okay.
For starters, I will approach Bron and tell him, and only him, that just so you know, old buddy, if something happens to the ship, you're our only hope.
I will ride a dragon one way or another.
He says, Daleth, at this point I've known you long enough to say, if you sink the ship, everyone else gets a ride.
You see, the Medrash was far away, letting them have this conversation and all of this.
So,
But
what
but
Dulles doesn't
the
know is
expression of Brown, Medrash just does a smirk.
what
Not
what
going to
what Dulles
sink the
what
ship.
Dulles
Why everyone assumes that?
what Dulles doesn't know is that right behind her is Alani, who also wanted to go over and talk to Braun a little bit.
Tutski
Again,
will.
but that's just the distance hearing that
And
it's
so
smirking.
she heard. So when Braun says what he says, she hears a guffaw behind her.
Yeah,
If
and
she
then
turns around, if they turns
okay,
around, you will see a smirking in Medashan and laughing at Lani right there.
okay. And Dell says, "Why everyone assumes that I'm going to sink the ship?"
I'm not
Anyway,
assuming you will, but I don't want to incentivize you to sink the ship.
okay, I get it. Anyway, where's the mage on the ship?
I think I believe he's forward on the front of the ship.
Hmm.
In character, Braun would be able to use the correct sailing terminology.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
I apologize.
Worry not.
Look for the
Worry not.
elf that you haven't been traveling with.
Yeah,
Then
basically
Del,
that.
and then you see Del is moving towards
You'd be
wherever
on the
he is.
bow of the ship, quickly googling.
But again, he's acting as the, the baby sister of Delis. But I was just intrigued, to hear more about this elf. So he will go there, especially having in mind what's could be coming in
So
the
we've
future.
got
Okay. But as okay,
bow.
so you're coming with me, I guess.
Bow.
Yeah. hmm hmm
Perfect. As we are approaching,
Or
I say I'm going to
I'm
take a
gonna
good
just
read of him.
starboard.
If he's problematic or overly arrogant, I'm going to challenge him to a duel.
Medrash immediately says, "Challenge him to do when we get to ground, please. Just keep it in your mind for doing later, not right now. Yes."
Okay, fine.
Tutski's just going to excuse herself and go below deck.
hmm
You'll
Did
hit.
you enjoy the coast as much as you hoped you would?
Yes, it's been great to see the sea again. To see the ocean even. Up north it's a lot more frozen and there's not as much happening, but here there's so many birds flying this way. It's not something you get as much up north.
Tell me about it.
Now there's something to be said for the fjords and the great power of the ice up there, but this is something very different than what I've been able to experience before.
Right there with you. I've never been on the water before.
Well, I have been on the short trip on the water, Medrash. It hasn't
Wait,
been
have you
as
come
fun as
back?
it will be. I came for the first time to. Give me a second. I look at the map of to Flashberg from Drakenberg. So I had to take a ship there. It was a ship of the order, so it was not a pleasure one. So I was used to the kind of preparations that the captain was talking about. But I did get a few days, not as long as these days will probably be. So it
Oh,
will be interesting to see
also,
the difference.
yeah, sorry to interrupt, but Monty is on the ship.
Mhm.
Just I don't have him on the map because
He'll take the
space.
same.
You
Yeah,
also
I
still
imagine.
have the level 7 version of my token loaded in here.
I
I imagine
don't
that.
know why.
I,
Let
I
me
I
imagine.
fixed it, but
I imagine that because I
let me
can't
try
say it, but
something.
Lamb Ray 2, it's also there just in the spirit form,
Yep.
not physical and all of that.
Yeah, I figured that, so I didn't need to mention that.
Yeah.
I think
So
I know the issue for your token. I think your HP bar wasn't actually
It's
linked
alright.
to HP.
Boo.
I was about to say, it's
So that
alright.
would be
Guahir and Nez are all we really need.
uh,
You never know.
where is the mage?
there we go. Okay.
Now
Up
tell
at the
me,
bow.
where is what's his name? Do we have the name yet?
Yeah, it should be in your
Yeah.
it
It's
should
in the Bukro
Totally not
NPC. It's
evil dude of green hair.
Aliembo de
I see them. Okay.
Antonia.
Alien Vo.
Andornia.
So tell me,
Yeah, the name is throwing me off with the Spanish.
Yeah, sorry.
Alejandro.
I didn't
Mhm.
want to actually research like actual Spanish names, and I wanted to, but I wanted to sound Spanish ish. So
Next time, if you want a Spanish name, you want it in one way particular, just ask me. I won't.
I mean, at least the last name was simple because it's just from
Yeah.
city, but
Mhm.
also I wanted it to sound a little separated from the other Spanish of Magno, just to give them a bit more
Yeah.
separation.
Mhm.
So it feeling a little unnatural, I think, works.
Mhm.
Just just to rip off from the Fellowship of the Ring.
Alejandro.
So tell me, where is Alienvo? For I much desire to speak with him.
Is that the bow?
Mhm.
Do I see him there?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not too hard to find.
Okay, I
Yeah.
go next to him and say,
Just look at the
so,
Like-
glowing
Medrash
green
goes
hair.
with her.
Like, there's probably like 25 people on this boat. About actually
including us.
26 probably, plus a donkey and a monkey.
and a
Mhm.
and an eagle.
And an imp and an
rhymes.
yeah.
Mhm. And a spirit dragon horse.
A spirit drunk horse.
It's not drunk. I said it's spirit dragon horse.
I
What is
was
it with you
joking.
and me scaring me? Oh, sorry.
I wasn't doing it on purpose. It does it on purpose. Anyway.
Mhm.
So, you're the mage of the ship.
Just on a short term contract. I needed some money and they needed a wizard. You know, I grew up on the coast, so I know most of the spells that a ship wants.
I see. You enlighten me with what these spells are exactly?
I mean, stuff like mending, gust of winds is the big one. You can't really get yourself on a well, you can get yourself on a ship so long as you can, do the manual labor of a deckhand like Erwin over there. You see Erwin like, mopping the deck. But, for a mage that one of the requirements to get that extra pay is gust of wind. Whenever there's a calm spell, it can help keep you moving.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
There are various other things that a ship can find handy. It's just a matter of, who actually wants to be on board. Ship life's not exactly easy.
I see. Have you ever seen a creature from the great beyond?
I've seen pictures of creatures from the great beyond.
Oh, do you want to see one from up close?
He starts to get a little unnerved.
Medrash immediately puts
That
the hand
sounds
on that.
dangerous on a ship like this.
Medrash immediately puts his hand on that and says, and that's the reason why you won't see one until we are on the ground, right? Says looking at Delit with a dangerous look on his face.
No, actually, and then I lower my voice again.
Mm-hmm.
I can summon one. Don't worry,
Yes.
it's going to be extremely friendly and it will do exactly what I say.
Medash immediately says, yes, but she doesn't. And we don't want a
Yeah,
mage
I'm
panicking.
as the official, master of the arcane for the ship. I'm gonna have to ask you not. We don't want, unforeseen elements acting on the boat.
Mhm.
They can help the other people with the ropes and all that stuff, you know.
I mean, or you could just use your hands that aren't gonna accidentally like drive people mad or hurt them or just make people uneasy.
You say that.
How could
These are, these are trips that have, lots of risk involved. People get very superstitious about things.
how
Mhm.
could an enormous man-eating toad could be? Anyway,
I think your description kind of gives its own answer.
damn it.
I think you just added yourself.
I see that in this ship no fun is allowed. Okay, then I will.
We found the imposter. Throw her off.
I
Medash,
will
look,
have to settle with boring games, I guess. Cards and all that jazz.
You can play
Medash
chess.
throws give me a second because I didn't miss how to remember. Alienbo kind of thankful look for not putting the good stuff to delete. Um, that's all. You know, don't say. I wanted to see, that it goes other way or not.
You can see a clearly discouraged Dell moving around on the ship.
Medash follows you
Oh my!
at one point, and when we are away from Alienbo, the majority of the crew tells you, "Well, I do believe that your creatures will be helpful and all of that. Um, we don't want to scare the crew. You get it, right?
You okay,
Scare
Tyrant?
the crew. Oh,
Yeah,
come on. They're not going to do anything.
yeah, they're
They're not
not. I
going to
believe
eat
you.
them unless
Medash,
they are rude.
Medash, Medash gives you that look. Yeah, well, having in mind the look and all of that the creatures will have, they will probably unconsciously be rude, even if they don't want to. You understand that, right? Like I said, I get it. You won't do something that will be too dangerous, say that, for the ship intentionally. But in this case, fear can also be as dangerous, even if it's not from a place of uh, aggression, but just fear to the unknown.
I get it. Anyway.
As in here, the situation, he takes his cards and says, "Wanna play a bit?"
Yes.
All right, time for some skill checks, chest games.
Oh
No, no,
no.
or even better, you guys start playing D&D inside the
Ah,
D&D campaign.
So
perfect.
we're playing the Eboan version of Cyberpunk.
No,
Um,
Oh,
you're playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Roll your stats,
No,
3d6 in
no,
order.
I
no,
thought it was 46 though.
no,
No,
Top
not
lowest.
in AD&D. In
Oh,
AD&D,
that
it's
sucks.
no.
3d6 in
We're in the
order.
no. We're in the Eboa Chronicles,
Uh,
and Delith has conjured up a nice little magical PlayStation, and they're playing Baldur's Gate. I like this Baldur's Gate game. It's fleeting.
I'm about to say,
Anyway.
Delith would make a great game master.
She would.
yes.
She would.
Yep.
Roll perception to spot the statue of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh no, in AD&D, it's probably you have to say you want to roll perception, or you're just screwed because you didn't ask about it, so you're just probably dead.
You have to say everything in AD&D.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
If
no
you,
mercy.
if you did not take the opportunity, it did not happen.
There is no mercy. So, anyone else wants to do?
I have something prepared for Tusky to do, so that's why she's not going to be involved in the game.
Okay. I don't think that we have to play the game actually, unless
No, no.
Max you want to.
We say Midrash and Delith are playing the game. There's
Okay.
that.
After enough time
Is
passes.
suspicious of Elf, goes to talk to him, mostly just ends up threatening to cause a commotion on the ship, leaves.
Again, she had the elf also sees a night dragon board that is like acting like he's the baby sister. So at least she's not that scared, for her life. The elf.
The scary one is actually below decks. They don't know it. And leading into that, after a short time, you can hear a frustrated. Well, she's not hitting anything because she's trying to be respectful, but you can hear a frustrated roar of anguish from below decks.
Oh, yeah,
Medrash,
that's Tutski.
Medrash immediately jumps up, leaves the cards there
That's what,
for the to
actually,
grab and goes.
Alani is going
to-
at right ahead of you. I'm
Actually-
sorry, she's faster.
Mhm.
actually,
Yeah.
let's say that we're still playing cards, and Delis perks up and says, "I think that's Tatsuki."
By the time she says that, she sees all the cards there, on Medrash cards there on the floor, and Medrash moving after to where Tatsuki was doing the noise.
Okay, I guess we all go downstairs.
You don't have to do that. You can also just look at the cards because Medrash puts them, face down, so you
I'm
don't see the
sorry,
number.
that's a fold. You just won.
Ah, they win!
Yeah, yeah, she won.
that is a Delith move. I'm sorry.
Actually, yes. So you surrender, Madra.
Medrash doesn't hear you. He's already far away from you.
I mean, I believe if you want to simulate who wins, I believe it's a skill check, and if you're proficient in the game, you can add your proficiency.
Mhm.
Am I proficient with it? I have no idea.
Medrash is proficient
Proficient
with.
with playing card games.
Yeah,
I
Medrash
mean,
has
it's a thing
proficiency
you
with
can
cards.
choose to be proficient in.
Yeah, it's where it shows
Oh, I mean,
cards.
oh yeah, that's right.
Because
It's a tools
Medrash is
proficiency.
Yep.
yeah,
Right.
It's
I
like
have playing card set and I have a
it's
proficiency.
like
So
Tutski's got blacksmithing kit proficiency, yeah.
mhm.
I'm not seeing Dallas being proficient in card games.
She's proficient in
It's
bullshitting.
something. Okay, let me see. No, I'm not. Oh
Oh,
no.
you should be proficient in bullshitting.
I am proficient in come on, in deception, but that's about.
That's proficiency in bullshitting.
Yes. Anyway, so we go down, and what do we see?
Mhm.
What were you looking
Mhm.
at? Just
Medrash is going for the noise. That he knows is the Tatsuki.
oh yeah.
Elani
Well,
was
I
ahead
think
of
Tuts
him.
would have to describe what they see.
She's basically hammering the pillow against her own bed, just raging, just almost having a breakdown, going, "Because I just have a normal life. Why do I have to have idiot friends who just are not real idiot friends? And I could have just had a really simple life where I could have just milked the cows on the farm. Go milk cows on the farm, Tutski. Yes, Papa. We could have had a very nice homely meal. We could have. I could have been rewarded by a visit from our favorite curator from the local museum. We just go to the museum. He's telling me about this new frigging.
I'll step.
Immediate of the rant, Medrash says out loud, basically. So you're regretting basically everything.
I could have just gone to the freaking curator. He's showing me this nice new exhibit of Nicolas Cage. He's in a bear costume. I don't know why he's in a bear costume, and I don't know why he's running up to her and punching a nun in the face. Did she just steal his picnic basket? Why is he in a bear costume?
Medrash mumbles to Elani at some point. Who is Nicolas Cage?
No idea.
She's
Let me-
hallucinating. I
Oh,
think.
she has gone insane of anger. Got it.
I don't know if it's a hunger.
Do I call Medrash that says? Do I call her attention?
Not smart right now. Let her
Wait.
rant.
If you wanted
Should
a
I-
pillow fight, you could just ask.
Oh
Does
no.
that get her attention?
She just her eyes dart towards Delith. What?
Medrash Medrash puts himself between Delith and Deathskin says, "Come on, you know how Delith is. She's just joking around."
She clearly wants to blow up some steam. A pillow fight is harmless, I suppose. No way we can sink a ship with pillows, I guess. I want to hope.
Tootsie just darts her eyes between everyone there, just finally sits on a chair, just breaks down.
Medrash,
Medrash
you want to leave this to me?
Midrash looks at you and says to the list, maybe we should give her some space. Come on, let's keep the going with the game.
Mm.
Oh, so that wasn't a surrender.
No, Midrash went. It was an emergency. Midrash was in a situation he wasn't surrendering. He just put the cards down to go see what was happening.
Darn.
Actually, Derek looks back and forth and says, "Hey, do you want to calm down a bit? I can help."
Midrash this says, Do you want to wait around for to see if Elani needs some help? We can do that too. Just be quiet while Elani
Tutski
does
just
her thing. Yes.
says to you both, just friggin' stay. It'll probably be better off this way.
There, you see. Now, next step is to find out if pillow fights is actually allowed on the ship.
Midrash says, I don't
That
think
would
she
technically
wants to
require
face.
leaving.
Midrash says to the date after a sigh, that will probably not be the things that she wants to do, seeing as how
Out of
she
character.
has just
Pillow
calmed
fighting
down.
with Tutski might result in a broken nose. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure she already
Uh,
burned her like a rage or something.
There's probably not a pillow. There's probably the ship's probably down one pillow after that display.
That's what we should have been known then. Like that would have been like feathers piled everywhere. I was like, what the heck happened?
Where did you get a pillow on this ship? That's feathers. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever is in these
Straw is
pillows then.
everywhere.
Straw is everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, there's maybe one feather pillow on this boat.
But it definitely
Maybe
belongs
one.
to the big man.
Yeah.
Yep.
we have to find it and confiscate it.
Deadlift's new mission is to steal the feather pillow from the captain and allow Tutski to destroy it.
Della doesn't need to lift a finger.
What?
Mhm.
The captain will sleep
So,
like the rest of us.
so Tatsuki, we left
Mhm.
a game of cards with Madras in the middle. Do you want to join us?
I'm not really in the mood for cards right now, Dalif.
Okay.
Midrash goes to you and says, he stands close to the wall, leaning against it, and says, "So, problem with
Alani
past choices. I can get that."
Alani
Midrash.
walks up to Tusky, sits down on the floor right in front of her, crosses her legs, and says, I wondered when this would be coming.
Tutsi just has her hand on her face, just rubbing it. And she says, "That was my fault. I should have been prepared."
Or what? Says
You should have been
Midrash.
prepared.
I should have known that.
Midrash.
Oh, you're talking about Marcus. You're saying you should have been prepared. Were you ever at all suspicious
Should
of
have been.
Marcus?
I should have been.
Midrash says, "What way would you have? Do you think I was prepared for what the order was going? Do you think that I expected the order to end up doing what it ended up doing?" There was no way to prepare for this. Beating yourself over what Marcus did, it's pointless. It will get to nothing. I get it, don't get me wrong. I was really down for quite a while for this. And it's okay if you want to be down, if you want to feel bad about being easily misled about that, but don't walk yourself against the wall, thinking that just because this happened under your nose, you should have been ready. There was no way.
Actually, Madrash, you probably have better experience in this. Betrayal?
Madras says and says, "Yep."
It's why he's here, after all.
It's why this journey began, in a sense. If it wasn't for the betrayal of the order, I wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be. This journey wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't have met you, Elani, in a way. I don't say that betrayal is a good thing, but it can lead to good things. It can lead to more positive outcomes because you begin to understand the persons that did the things they did, and you begin to see more.
Begin with, I don't see how Marcus's bad choices are your fault. Yes, you could argue that you might have been able to maybe see something and warn him, but uh, I don't think it works that way. People like that always hide their true intentions.
Besides, even if you could have seen it coming, it wouldn't have changed much of anything. Especially look at us right now. We went in unprepared. We still came out unscathed.
Even if
That's not
having
to
a,
inflate anyone's ego, Delith, but I mean,
even if
we're still here.
Miller says, even if you suspected it, even if you thought that he was his coming backstabber, like he turned out to be, let me ask you this question in that case, Dutski. If that was the case, if you knew before from the very start, would have your life had been the same as it has been now?
I honestly don't know.
Exactly. There's no point in wondering that. It took me a while to understand that, so that's why I'm trying to cut the chase for a bit. You won't get anywhere just thinking what ifs, maybes, and all of that. Do you want to get angry at him? Do you want to make him pay for betraying you and treat like that? Sure, whatever. You have my sword, you will have my shield to help you in that quest, but
He has a
getting
point,
yourself over.
He has a point. Unless we find a way to reverse time, and who knows, could be possible. Now that I think of it, it would be. Anyway, um, yeah, unless that happens, and chances are it won't, yeah,
I'm not saying
there's.
that my approach will heal the wound faster. My wound still hasn't healed, but it will at least make it less painful. Focus on what you can do now. If you ever get the chance for revenge or betrayal or prove them wrong, take it. It's probably a good way to finally categorize it and stop it from hurting so much.
Or Tusky
I'm not
Bump.
so sure I'll advocate for revenge there, pal. But
Medras
the
says
rest of that is sound.
Medras says I'm not advocating for revenge. I'm advocating for her trying to looking for a healthy way to try to heal. Not if she wants revenge, it's her choice. I can't force someone to make the right choice or wrong choice. But
Mm.
at least she knows her options this way.
I need a drink.
Mm, you need need to think.
Drink can also help for momentarily. The question will still be there, and we will be here to help her.
Psst, that's your
I can help you
curious.
with a drink.
There you go.
I'm the undisputed champion after I defeated Madras.
Oh,
Madrasha looks at you and says, I'm going to prove you wrong."
are you that certain, Delith? Remember who beat you all the way back in Flossberg?
I was uninitiated back then. Now, my powers have doubled.
Good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
Oh no. We have a duel.
We have a duel.
Perfect.
And I'm surrounded by idiots.
Madrasha sighs and says, "You need to learn when to let go of certain things. Yeah, the problem is not solved, but at least she's in a better mood, and with time, that will lead to her finding her answer, just like I found mine, to solving this problem she has." Says to Elani. "In any case, I have certain daily to prove that I'm better than her. There's no way I can beat Tatsuki, but I will recover my honor on that."
Madras, could you please go and ask the captain if a drinking game is allowed in the ship?
Medas looks at you
Make
and
sure that he
Creator
knows that you all will be supervised.
Medrash gives you a dry look and he says, "The only
Even if
reason why
Delith,
the captain will be against that it's because you are involved."
I promise not to burn down the ship.
"Yeah, no, we still need supervision."
As I said, if this thing goes down, we drown. I'm not going to do that.
"I didn't say I wasn't going to ask him. I'm just saying that drinking is allowed. You are probably the only one that will be a problem."
Mm, anyway,
Medrash goes and asks the captain for that, saying that
Uh,
his Highness require would like to
she
have some
actually
drink.
went to ask him.
you know we're on the